Guys, welcome back to the Match Chat podcast with myself, Paul Ciatto, Christopher Shay,
how's it going?
And producer extraordinaire Peter Oberk. And we have a very, very, very special guest today. He's not only just our friend, he's also a student, but more so, he's the guy I look up to in the martial arts, and have the pleasure of him being in our academy in Soul Fighters Brewster. And without further ado, I want to say it correctly, but you're looking at a true martial arts legend here. Okay.
Yes, you are.
And the proper terminology and his proper description per se in martial arts is this is basically Shihan Mehrkar.
Badass.
Hey.
He is also the vice president of the Shay role.
Shay roll.
Which most people don't know. It's something that I kind of came up and I kind of sucked him in the group with me.
Exactly.
If you don't know what it is, you gotta come in, check it out. It's the best roll in town.
Tastes delicious.
It's almost like a lobster roll, except it's a little different.
It's a little different. And
Spicier.
You keep coming back.
A little spicier, that's what I'm talking about.
So we bought Shihan in today specifically because he has a very, very, very unique and specific story to martial arts in general. He's Iranian, okay? He's American, but he's Iranian. Came here, migrated to the United States, and basically, if I'm correct, you were a mechanical engineer,
Yes.
right? So
Of course he is. Everybody from
the engineers and doctors.
Yeah, they're all down here.
So he's a mechanical engineer and came here to start that part of his life.
I thought he came over here to steal some nuclear weapon stuff.
So go into this, basically give us the history about, again, you were coming here as an engineer, but then karate took over.
Actually, I came here when I was 17 with an 11th degree education, and usually when you come to the United States, you have to take English as second language, which when I came, I actually got lost in the city. My father was a colonel in the army, so he actually wanted his 3 kids to get out. I was the baby, I'm the youngest one.
Okay.
And he sent me out first, and I got to go to Rockland Community College, which is right over the bridge in Rockland County.
Correct.
And I have to come here by myself. And I got on the plane.
Well, time out. What do you mean you came here by... everyone stayed in Iran, you just came over here by yourself?
My father just got the ticket for me. I had some friends over here that they were at Rockland Community College.
Right.
And when I come to the United States, they were supposed to come actually meet me at Fort Dix Airport, which is the Air Force Airport in New Jersey.
Right.
They didn't show up, so I was like, wow, this is interesting.
And what year was this?
1978, September
78
12th.
with Iran, we weren't in a good place.
No, right after that, once I came here, Shah was overthrown, Khomeini came
Ah,
and
okay.
the hostage crisis started happening, the
Got it.
444
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
And that was another story. But when I got here, I had to find my way. And my dad told me, my dad went to West Point for 6 months for training.
Wow. Excellent.
And he told us that if you get lost, talk to someone in the uniform, either a fireman, policeman, people in the
Military
military,
service,
because they are there to serve people.
Correct.
So if you get lost, don't ask anybody else, ask them for help. So I got to the airport, gave them the address, they told me you have to go to Port Authority. What is Port Authority? I have no idea. First time out of the country. So got the tickets, got on the bus, went to Port Authority, and the guy supposed to come meet me, he's not there. So I asked people to help me out. One lady, it was an old lady, asked to dial the phone number for me. She dialed the number, I get on the phone, the operator says you have to call. That's when we didn't have the cell phones.
Right.
Oh, that's right, yeah, you gotta use
So
the payphone.
you have to put the quarters in, and she goes, how much money to put in? I hung up the phone, I didn't understand it. So I asked another lady to help me out, she said how much it is. I put the money in, I talked to them, they said, yeah, he's taking a test, he will be there to pick you up from the Port Authority. This is at 12 o'clock. 4 o'clock comes, he's still not there.
So I know why you picked up martial arts. You picked up martial arts to kick this guy's ass who left you at 17 years old in the Port Authority with you having what was your English like?
Very, very little.
Oh my, okay, now it all makes sense why you've been doing martial arts. Did you get him good?
Actually, it ended up to be a nice term.
Yeah.
But what happened, actually found them, and after 2 weeks, my dad said, Shaheen, it's time for you to get a place for your own, because if these guys didn't come take you, they're not going to take you out of you. So
Correct.
get on your own. So I got a place and went to RCC, and one of my girlfriends at the time, she was a black belt in Kyokushinkai,
Got it.
and she was amazing. And I was like,
So you have no martial arts experience yet?
Only thing we did around playing around in the street and everything else.
Okay.
And my brother did the same thing. So we were just, as a kid, sitting
Got
around
it.
playing around.
Got
So
it.
when I got here, that's how my first experience of martial arts started happening with her. And I started going to Masuyama, which is the old Kyokushinkai in Spring Valley. That's how the whole thing started up. So, and I was going to school for engineering.
Correct.
Once I got my engineering degree, I'm trying to get in the field. It's not working, so I got in touch with Rockland Community College. They gave me a job to teach physics for 3 or 4 semesters. I was teaching physics for
An easy
4
subject. physics.
Yeah, you're one of the easier ones.
Oh,
And at the college level, so you can't even fake it. It ain't like you're teaching 3-year-olds or
they
4-year-olds.
made me learn English better because I have to communicate with these
Right,
guys.
sure.
So I had no choice. Either I have to put myself in there or hang out with the Persian guys to speak Persian.
A quick little aside, you didn't have to speak, your English didn't have to be that good because Paul and I went through all those courses and none of those motherfuckers spoke English. I was like, they're talking, I'm like, yeah, I don't understand where this person's saying.
What
I'm
is
just
it?
You only got to plug it in and do the problem. I'm good. That's
That's
it.
right.
Math's a universal language.
exactly.
Right, once you understand the formula, you just have to plug
There it
That's
is,
There you go.
exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I was doing that for a while, and I was working at a group home with the mentally handicapped kids for four years.
Wow.
And one of the guys who came in to do the renovation for one of the houses, I got to know him, and he knew I was graduating, so he offered me a job in his firm. So I was in that firm for like 3 or 4 years, and I was doing martial arts.
You're training at the same time.
Yeah.
My brother was in Pennsylvania, and I said, Shaheen, what are you doing here? Get your ass over here doing your karate. And that's how I went to Pennsylvania, spent 3 years over there, got my black belt, then I came to Yonkers, opened up my first karate school in Yonkers for 9 years. Then
And how
after
old
that,
were you when you did that?
29, I just turned 29, I remember that because no families, had to establish myself.
Correct.
So I was lucky enough to get a credit card from one of the department stores in Pennsylvania. And I started establishing
Building your
credit.
credit. Yeah. Exactly.
And it started then,
The
you
American
know
dream.
how it is. Once you graduate from college,
Everyone starts sending you
they
everything.
send you application for credit cards because so I got those credit cards and I put $50,000 on credit card, line of credits to open up my first karate. Either you make it,
Or you break
Or yeah.
well, I had no choice, I had to make it.
What year was that?
1989.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Then 1998, I was asked that I was told I was quitting. So I was like, oh great. So I started my own organization, which was Bushido
Bushido
Karate.
Karate, right.
And I got out with my wife and one of the guys I was training all the time with us. And we got together, opened up the first school, which was in Thornwood. And
Right.
that's been 1989. And I've been on my own since then. And to those guys who are watching, we don't need him. He needs us. So, thank you. I believe that you don't, but that's
for
the way
you.
it
Yeah,
is.
good for
and,
you. I like
know,
that.
a lot of times they said, if you don't stay with him, you don't make it. No. You know what?
It's all about this.
Right.
This is what makes it. And
That-
this, exactly,
also,
and
how
this.
much heart you got. Just
Exactly.
like we go to jiu-jitsu tournaments. Whatever you learn off the mat is great, but once you are in the arena,
It's a whole different ballgame.
it's a whole different
The
ballgame.
arena of
Professor,
life, baby. Exactly.
you were amazing this weekend. You kicked,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
kicked. You know what? And the guy didn't want to come back. He was like, I'm done.
That's it.
So it was a beautiful day yesterday.
Good thing.
Saturday. Too.
What I want to interject is it's funny how life works because I knew Shihan way back when in the beginning of my jiu-jitsu journey. I was a white belt and I ended up going to his karate school with a mutual friend of ours.
It was right here,
Yeah,
yeah.
he had a school
Right.
over here with Gani Baratari and
What a
you
young,
know,
nice man he is.
and-
I love it. I love it.
No, he's a great guy. I actually spoke to him yesterday. But that's why, I got to see just how dangerous this guy was because he hit me with a swinging back heel kick in my gut when we were at his school. And then it's funny, moving forward, here we are, X amount of years later. Now, you're I don't want to mess it up. You're a 4th degree.
I
Let everyone know where
retired as a 4th degree. And since I don't have an instructor, I don't promote myself. You know, you can
No,
buy
I
a
get
belt.
it. I get you. Don't do that.
Put stripes on it. I'm a 5th dan. Last belt that I held was a 4th degree.
And how long ago was that?
20 years ago.
So you're like a 17th degree.
Yeah.
The way I described it, when I became Shihan, first I was sensei. The way I worked at is like, you're a father. You're a father.
Right.
At what point are you guys going to become a grandfather? Not when you guys are ready.
Right.
I get it.
When your kids are ready.
Right.
So as much as you would like to, it's not going to happen.
Correct.
When my students were ready, they moved me up to become a
That's-
Shihan.
that's-
I didn't move myself up.
Your
They got
students
the
and your
belt
peers said
for
it's
it.
time. You
Time
know?
to move up.
And I.
Right.
And watch this. That just makes sense because you have how many years in karate now?
But the more
40 years of training, 30 years of teaching.
teaching, and more importantly, he still trains.
Yeah.
I love
karate.
training.
So
Oh,
he's-
hello.
I mean, this is not a. He's
They're,
not.
they're gonna
Yeah.
see what kind of training
Oh,
he's
yeah.
still doing. At how old?
57.
57 years old.
57 years young.
Exactly. I agree. And
Yep.
and to punch into that point. So all your time in karate, still running the academy, still teaching students, still making your way,
Still a badass.
spreading the knowledge, all that fun stuff, and then all of a sudden, you decided X amount of years ago, you know what? I haven't done enough or given myself. I'm going to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And here he is. He's a purple belt under myself and Philippe, and comes in here and amazing, absolutely amazing. What he does. We actually call him by his karate name when he comes in here because that's how much respect we have for him. We call him.
Respect is mutual.
We call him Shihan when he comes in here. And the bottom line is, but explain how all of a sudden you decide, you know what? Because I've seen all your videos breaking fucking boards and ice blocks and all this other stuff, and obviously all your accolades. Exactly. And then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? And I know what you're going to say because you told me you gave me the comparison, but let the viewers hear that.
Once you start learning one thing, I always said my karate cup is full now. In order to be well-rounded, you have to know how to defend yourself in any situation. So if somebody gets close, you cannot strike them anymore. Know what you got. I talked to my brother because he's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu also under Gracie Baja. And you guys know Dan.
Yes, your nephew.
Yeah, he's
he came
also
training
a
for
black
while.
belt in
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is under Gracie Baja.
Yeah.
Right.
And when I went and trained with them, I thought I knew Jiu-Jitsu. I knew watered down with Jiu-Jitsu. That's where you go a lot of places, like they say, oh, come here, you do this, and you grab me. But you tell them what to do, then you do the move on that. Jiu-Jitsu is not like that. It's a flowing, you guys know, it's a flowing art.
Right.
So in order for me to get better in that art, I have to get into it. So once I started training my brother, I said, Shahin, what you're learning is watered down Jiu-Jitsu. Go to an academy that's real. And Dan came here, and he met you guys, and he switched teams to Soul Fighters.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And since then, I came in on board and I asked you guys if it's okay for me to train. Professor, you are kind enough to allow me to come to your academy and train. And since then, my Jiu-Jitsu cup is getting a little bit more full. My karate cup was on the side. When I need to, I go to Jiu-Jitsu cup. But I have two different cups. What we do in our style is, once they learn the black belt, coming up to black belt, we only teach them stand-up fighting. Once they get the first degree, we teach them ground fighting. Once they learn the ground fighting, for 2 years they do that. Then we teach them stand-up fighting and how to use another weapon, which is short steel or screamer, which is the Filipinian style.
Yeah.
And they say if you learn empty hands and a weapon in your hand, it's the same techniques. That's what's nice about it. It makes it easier.
Transition's easy. Yeah.
Much easier. Just almost like wrestling and jiu-jitsu. But wrestling, you don't want to be on your back. But most of this stuff, you can.
Grappling is grappling, striking is striking.
So
I get it.
once we start doing the short sticks, then we go to the knife for the 3rd degree, and double chucks for the 3rd degree. So they start learning weapons because karate literally means empty hands.
Empty hands. Yeah.
If you're not good with empty hands, if I put a weapon in your hands, guess what? the opponent is gonna disarm you and use what you got against you.
Right.
So first good with your empty hands, then you start extending your abilities to the weapon.
That's
So
great.
It's a great philosophy. Yeah.
It's
It
a
works.
way of life. You have to learn everything. If you think you know it all, you're a bigger fool than you think you are. And I know I don't know it all, and learning should never stop. And that's why.
No, you're a testament to
Yeah,
that.
100%.
Probably goes on to the next thing of like, you know, even concealed carry. You know, that's part of it. Every martial artist I talk to is like, you know, that's the third step. You know, basically hand to hand, weapons. Obviously, you know, carrying a firearm. You know,
And
legally.
again, with the firearm, you have to use it. Go to the firing range to use it. Otherwise,
You gotta hone your
You
skill
gotta
regardless
practice
of what it
it.
is.
Because once they come at you, if you're not comfortable in that
Correct.
situation, you don't know how to. Nobody knows how to react till you're put into that situation.
It's so funny you say that because a mutual friend of ours here, I don't want to say the name just out of respect because we had a conversation about that. And this person said to me, you know, I'm just not comfortable carrying it. I said, that's because you're not carrying it.
Right.
So like, you know, you have to have it on you all the time so it becomes part of you.
Part of
right?
you.
So that's when, to your point, you'll be able to transition. God forbid you need to utilize it.
You have to be
So
able
it's
to.
a,
Or let's just say you got a couple beers and you want to shoot that thing in the air, shoot at some signs. You got to have that thing on you to do those things to make the party more fun.
no.
Okay. You don't want to go there. but-
I'm just
No, you don't do that.
No.
So, but to your point, it's
Anytime there's a gunshot, a party just got a little bit more fun. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Shay's a redneck.
But it's exactly. Yeah, we should do a music video with that. But to your point, it's bringing it all together and being a complete package. And as you can tell, you know that no matter what your age is, it's a continual journey of honing those skills and doing what you need to do to get better. Get better.
One thing I have to say, with age, hopefully we get wiser.
Heck
Hopefully.
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But some of us, we know friends that still look like they're still in high school, and you're like, dude, your kids are looking up to you.
Correct.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more on that.
You have to step it up, otherwise they're gonna be just like you as they grow old. So either you step it up, or you're gonna next generation is just gonna be like you. And if you keep training, your body stays in that stage of mind of training. If you just stop and go, it's much harder, kind of like lifting. If you haven't lifted for a while, you go back to lift, it's
It's a
so
pain in the neck.
sore.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But once you get into it, stay in it, it's much easier. So my suggestion, just stay in it, because
Now, did you say that because you're sitting there next to these things, or no?
those are the guns. Put the guns in.
I think you said something yesterday or the day before, or maybe that you said about growing old and not growing old. I forgot what you were describing. You made such great sense in the matter of, you know, if you said something to the point like if you become older and you become grumpy or less mobile, that's what they
Yeah.
want to see. Who wants to get old?
Yeah,
That's what
it's
being
just
old
like
is,
I tell
right?
all the parents at my school who train, I said, no, you gotta have fun. So when your kids look at you like, damn, I cannot wait to get old. I want to be like you, having fun and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoying life, right? And everything's bad, and I don't want to grow to be like you. I want to stay young. Then nobody wants to grow old. So
Yeah.
it's our job to make a difference in the next generation. I don't have any kids, but I have a lot of kids.
Of course.
Of course.
And
yeah,
we
of course.
touch people's life, just like our lives crossed
For a reason.
15 years ago.
Exactly.
Before you know it, it comes back
Full circle.
together.
Yeah.
Life is like that, and we're here to make a difference. Regardless of how good or how bad you are, you have an influence on everybody. And I have to say, people over here, they're all here to help each other. I've never seen anybody over here who's trying to hurt. And if you do, you're asked to leave. You're not allowed back in, because
And that has happened
It's happened
also.
here many
it's
times.
that's why it makes it
A few
safe for
times,
everybody, not just men, not just women. The kids are the same way. These are the next generation. Hey, we are gonna get old. Who's gonna
Well,
run the
kinda,
country?
sorta,
next?
kinda,
No,
sorta.
Who's gonna run the country when we get old?
Right.
Right.
If we don't do our job, they're not gonna be there to be able to do their job for us when we are old.
Right,
So
100%
that's how
Yep.
cycle of life, like you said,
It's,
comes around.
it's so important, especially with martial arts. I mean, it just teaches you all. Yes,
Can
Peter?
I clarify one thing?
Sure.
I'm of the understanding that this is all you do.
That's all I do.
So I think the listeners should know this, that you're a full-time martial artist, that's all you do. It's not a side job.
No, no,
makes
no,
me
It's
I-
your whole
Well,
life.
his side job is good looking. Yes. Good lookingness,
Look
right?
handsome. That's it.
I try. I graduated, once I went to Pennsylvania, That's the only thing I've been doing for the last 30 or so years. That's how I feed my mouth. I don't do anything else.
That's how he makes his living.
Yeah.
Can you, off the top of your head, you're putting you right on the spot right now.
Sure.
Can you tell us some of your best memories of a life in martial arts?
Awesome.
Oh, that's a good question.
If you think back, like right now, and you have to answer.
Besides meeting us
Being,
and being on this podcast, what else has been one of those
I have
memorable
to say,
experiences?
I don't have a blood family. I have a sweat family.
Ooh.
And I don't pick my family. Like, you have no choice when you're born in a family.
Yeah.
Sure.
This, you have a choice. And the way we roll and the position we are in, sometimes uncomfortable. But that's what makes it comfortable. To put yourself in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah.
And sweating with each other. And that sweat gets us to be family.
Build us a bond.
Build us the bond, and
Hell
that's the best bond. And it doesn't matter where you go, you have that bond. Where I have one of the Shihans from other schools come to my school. This gentleman is 70-something years old.
Wow.
You know how Professor Mike Palladino wants to do 100 tournaments?
Correct.
The gentleman at 70 years old, Shihan Ray, I would say his name because I'm proud. He's very dedicated. He's been doing this all his life too.
Right.
78 years old.
He's still competing.
100 tournaments he did. Karate tournaments. And he does. So that's what I mean. Those guys makes you look up to them.
Heck yeah.
And want to move on. And the best memories I have is the memories that are on the mat and off the mat. Because like I said, there are things that you do, it makes me closer to my brothers.
Sure.
One of them who's a black belt. The other one who's got his PhD in concrete engineering. And he's in Dubai.
That's
Building
all those fabulous
Right.
buildings.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Dubai
So I'm
right
very
now.
lucky. He does that, and the story of my dad coming to the United States because he sent all his kids out of the country. I was 17, my brother was 19, my oldest one 21, 2 years apart.
Wow.
And it's very hard as a parent to separate yourself from
Yeah.
them.
Oh, absolutely.
If I would have stayed there, my whole generation got wiped out because of the 10-year war between Iran and Iraq. My dad was
That vision,
promoted
man.
Yeah, he
to
did.
become a next level in his
In the
military
army.
training.
training, right?
But he must have been going to another part of the city to declare martial law
Right.
because of what was going on. And he didn't accept the promotion. He knew if he would have taken it, revolution would come.
He stuck there.
All his friends was put in front of the firing squad. That's why Saddam Hussein attacked Iran. All the brains were shot. So
Yeah.
it's like
Who's gonna
all
run
the
the-
chiefs are gone.
Yeah, got rid of
Yeah,
all
just
They're
the-
all
Indians, you can-
Indians.
yeah, you can-
Who's gonna lead these people?
That's right.
So my father knew that was coming. So first of all, he didn't get the promotion. Then he sent us all out. He came to the United States. He sent all his money for us to be here. He was pissed when he got to the United States because my brother went for accounting, I went for engineering. Because you guys are doing karate, I spent. Well, you have to understand, as a parent,
Yeah.
you want to invest in
You're
that.
formally educated
Yeah,
Your
in
kid is going to college.
Yeah. I get
And
it.
you're like, he came and sat down in the lobby just to see what's going on.
Right.
Within few weeks, he turned and said, Shaheen, I'm proud of you. You are making a difference in people's life.
100%.
You're not building buildings, but you're making people in different
You're building
lives.
people.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's way more important than
So
buildings.
I'm glad he's gone, but he's always
Well, he
waiting
got to
and-
see it his vision. I mean, because he had a lot of foresight to say, I'm getting my children out of here
To be
for a
safe.
better
He
life
knew
to
what
be
was
safe.
coming.
And then when he got here, he said, look at the fruits of my labor, and boom, all my
Right.
kids did it.
But-
And it's,
He was very, very happy. And
Yeah.
I
Good
have
for
to
you.
say, it was good to see that. And my mom also was lucky enough, she was with us. I wish she would stay with my brother for a long time.
Yeah.
But she came and saw us and she was happy. And so they're in a better place now. So one day, when I'm ready,
That's
no,
it.
it's great.
I will see them.
Good for you.
That's great. I mean,
Good for
it's,
you.
again, it's a testament. We're very blessed, at least in the Soul Fighters families. We have a bunch of martial artists such as yourself, like you, Vlad Kulikov, who come from
Oh my God.
different backgrounds and bring so much to the table and bring that knowledge and that background to jiu-jitsu. It enhances everything. Because there's a lot of stuff, what I like a lot, because I'm old school like you, and a lot of times you'll come to me and say, Professor, that's this and that, when you see different behaviors. I like that a little bit harder.
Yeah.
discipline that you, like when you come whisper something in my ear and I'm like, you're right, and I'll make an adjustment to it because BJJ has this more of a relaxed, and that's just this essence of it. But sometimes you need
respect. You can be relaxed,
Yeah.
but you better have respect.
Right.
Respect.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
When that line starts to get blurred,
Right.
then you need to amp up the freaking discipline.
And being
Or respect
traditional
side of it.
karate, he
That's
brings
all
that.
about that.
So,
And you have a lot of your students here also, and you can tell which ones they are because they're like, yeah, there's one, there's another one. Look at these kids. You got 20-year-old kids who are acting like.
Yeah, but the only spot that he's slacking in is the Shay roll.
That's right.
Whoa. He is not.
Time to time, we need a Shay roll.
Let me tell you something.
Peter,
Everybody
we need
needs a Shay roll.
I don't
You
think
know it.
Peter hates the Shay roll.
No.
He loves you, but I don't think Peter's ever had a Shay roll.
Like if he rolls with me, he gets a
No, I've got Shay rolls.
Because I'll convert him. I'm a converter.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, baby. Come to the Shay roll. Dude, look at the veins. Look at the veins in the muscles. Oh man.
Well, you know what I like to do before we go into 10 Shay rolls? Tell the viewers again about your academy, where it is, some information.
If they're interested,
and the whole nine.
If you're interested in karate or martial arts, anything, we have a location in White Plains, heart of White Plains, 257 Mamaroneck Avenue, White Plains, New York. The number is 914-993-0400. We have a website, www.bushidokarate.com. Hope to see you guys. Either way, life is too short. Get in there, do something that you're happy, that makes you stay with it, and you go.
Guys, I can't even add to that. You're interested in any type of martial arts, go see this man. Guys, we're going to wrap it up. Paul Ciatto, Christopher Shay, Peter Oberk, and the Shihan.
Yeah, baby.
Bushido Karate Match Chat Podcast. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Paul.